We are in Cairo. It is 1968. The cameras of state television are rolling. Photographers are shooting. Police are on site. And up there, walking on the church dome, there is a woman made of light. This is the story of Our Lady of Zaytun, the largest and most documented public Marian apparition in human history. And today, we will examine every detail of what happened on those nights that changed Egypt. The first night. To understand the event, we must understand the place and the moment. It is the evening of April 2nd, 1968. Egypt is a wounded nation. Less than a year earlier, the country suffered a devastating defeat in the Six-Day War. Morale is shattered. Poverty spreads. Religious tension between the Muslim majority and the Coptic Christian minority is palpable. We are in the district of Zaytun, in the northern outskirts of Cairo. The street is Tumanbai Street, a busy artery lined with garages and workshops. Across from one of these garages stands the Church of St. Mary. It is 8:30 p.m. The shift has ended at the Public Transport Authority's garage, directly across from the church. Two mechanics are on duty, Farouk Mohammed Atwa and Abdel Aziz Ali. This detail is essential. Both are Muslim. They are not praying. They are not looking for miracles. They are closing the garage. Farouk looks up toward the church. On the central dome, he sees a female figure. She is dressed in white, kneeling near the stone cross. His first reaction is not mystical. It is panic. Farouk thinks she is a young woman trying to commit suicide by jumping from the dome. He shouts in Arabic, "Lady, be careful, wait." Abdel, his colleague, runs to call the police and emergency services. The shouts draw passers-by. A crowd begins to gather under the church. People yell at the woman not to jump. But then something happens. The figure stands. She is not a woman of flesh and blood. The light she emits is too intense, yet it does not blind. She moves with an unnatural fluidity. The figure begins to walk along the curve of the dome. From the crowd, someone notices a detail that changes everything. There is no shadow beneath her feet. The light comes from her. It is not reflected onto her. A cry rises from the crowd. Setana Maryam, Our Lady Mary. Farouk Mohammed Atwa, the Muslim mechanic who feared a suicide, will tell the authorities the next day. I saw clearly that it was the Virgin Mary. My finger, which was to be operated on for gangrene the next day, was instantly healed the moment I pointed at her. It is the first miracle, but the night has only begun. The authorities' reaction and the blackout. Police arrive quickly. The crowd is blocking traffic. The authorities' first hypothesis is logical, a hoax. Someone is projecting an image onto the dome to cause unrest or attract crowds. Police enter the church. They inspect the roof. No one is there. They inspect surrounding buildings, searching for hidden projectors. They find nothing. But the figure is still there, visible to hundreds of people. So the authorities take a drastic step to expose the trick. They order the electricity to be cut to the entire district of Zaytun. Streetlights go out, homes go dark. The church is plunged into total darkness. If it were a projection, it would vanish. If it were a reflection, it would fade. Instead, in complete darkness, the figure shines even more intensely. Her brightness becomes so strong that it lights up people's faces in the street, as if it were daytime. The crowd is no longer made up only of curious onlookers. There are skeptics. There are government officials. The figure remains visible for several minutes, then slowly disappears, not like a light switching off, but like vapor dissolving into the air. The next day, the news is on every Egyptian newspaper, not religious papers. The major national dailies, controlled by the secular government, run headlines. The Virgin Mary appears in Zaytun. The detailed phenomenology of the apparitions. This was not a single incident. If it had happened once, we could speak of mass hysteria. But the apparitions continued. From April 2nd, 1968 until 1971. 3 years. Sometimes she appeared 2 or 3 times a week. Sometimes she remained visible for 10 minutes. other times for 8 consecutive hours, staying there until dawn. Let's analyze what these 250,000 people saw exactly. Testimonies are consistent and come from different sources that could not have coordinated with each other. 1. The figure. The Virgin appeared always life-size or slightly larger. She wore a long robe and a bluish-white veil. Sometimes she wore a golden crown. Other times, a halo of light surrounded her head. Her facial features were sometimes indistinct due to the radiance, but at other times they were clear, lowered eyes, a serene smile. Often she held the child Jesus in her arms. Other times she held an olive branch, a symbol of peace, an overwhelming message for a country wounded by war. 2. The movements. This was not a static image. She bowed toward the cross on the dome. She blessed the crowd by moving her hands. She shifted from one side of the roof to the other. When she turned, her back and veil were visible in 3 dimensions. 3. The doves. This is one of the most inexplicable and documented details. Before, during, or after the apparition, the sky above the church filled with luminous formations. Witnesses called them doves, but they specified that they were not birds. They were made of light. They moved at incredible speed. They could stop mid-air instantly. They flew in perfect geometric formations, often in the shape of a cross. And above all, they did not flap wings. They glided. No nocturnal bird flies in formation over a loud, illuminated crowd. No bird can glide without moving its wings for minutes at a time. 4. The incense and the clouds. Often, before the apparition, clouds of red or orange incense enveloped the church, perfuming the air over a radius of kilometers. There was no physical source for this smoke. Investigations and evidence. Faced with a phenomenon that paralyzed the capital, both the state and the church had to intervene. The police investigation. General Mahmoud Traju, head of the local police, conducted exhaustive investigations. He ordered searches of every building within a 15-mile radius, looking for holographic or laser equipment, technologies that in 1968 were primitive and impossible to hide effectively. Result? No fraud. In the official report, he wrote that he himself had seen the apparition. The Coptic Church investigation. The Pope of the Coptic Orthodox Church, Kyrillus VI, established a commission of bishops and priests. They were not enthusiastic. The church feared ridicule. The commission went to the site, blended into the crowd, and observed. They saw. On May 4, 1968, the Coptic Patriarchate issued a historic official statement. Let's read an exact excerpt, because every word carries weight. The Patriarchal See declares, with full faith and great joy and thanksgiving, that the Blessed Virgin Mary has appeared many times in clear and stable forms, for several nights, on the dome of the Church of Zaytun. The apparitions have been witnessed by thousands of citizens of different religions and by foreigners. These apparitions have been accompanied by miraculous healings verified by doctors. The Vatican's observation. The Catholic Church, though the apparition occurred in an Orthodox church, also sent observers. Cardinal Stephanos I Siderous, the Coptic Catholic Patriarch, declared, "It is undoubtedly a true apparition. It has been seen by many Coptic Catholic faithful I know, trustworthy people who are not easily deceived." An apostolic nuncio from the Vatican also saw the apparition and sent a report to Rome. President Nasser. Historical testimonies confirm that President Gamal Abdel Nasser, a secular and socialist leader, went incognito to a garage across from the church to observe the phenomenon. He saw the apparition. The Egyptian government, by direct order of Nasser, had the garages and buildings across from the church demolished, so the crowd, which reached 250,000 people per night, could gather more easily. If this had been a religious trick, a socialist government would have suppressed it. Instead, they facilitated it. Documented medical miracles. An apparition without fruits is only a light show. In Zaytun, the fruits were physical healings. A medical committee was established to verify cases led by Dr. Shafiq Abdel Malek, professor of anatomy at Ain Shams University. The criteria were strict. There had to be a prior diagnosis, proof of sudden healing, and no scientific explanation. Case 1. Cancer. A woman named Mervat Zakaria had a terminal malignant tumor. Doctors gave her only weeks. After praying during an apparition, she felt overcome by an intense heat. Subsequent X-rays showed the complete disappearance of the tumor mass. Doctors confirmed there was no clinical explanation. Case 2. Paralysis. A man paralyzed for years was carried on a stretcher into the crowd. During the Virgin's apparition, he stood up and walked. This happened in front of thousands of eyewitnesses, not in a closed room. Case 3. The Voice. A Muslim man, mute from birth, regained speech while staring at the light. The first word he said was, "Mary." These cases are preserved in the archives of the Church of Zaytun, complete with before and after medical records. Why Zaytun? The historical link. Why there? Why at that moment? There is a fascinating historical detail that links 1968 to the 1st century. According to Coptic tradition, the Holy Family, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, passed through this area during the flight into Egypt to escape Herod. Zaytun means olives. At the time, it was farmland. It is said the Virgin rested under a sycamore tree, right where the church now stands. But there is more. In 1924, a wealthy man named Khalil Ibrahim had a vision. The Virgin told him to build a church in that exact place and made him a promise. "If you build a church here, I will return to appear after 50 years." The church was consecrated in 1925. The apparitions began in 1968. Almost exactly 50 years after the construction, the promise was fulfilled. But the scale exceeded all expectations. Another fundamental aspect is the silence. In 3 years of apparitions, the Virgin of Zaytun did not speak a single word. No verbal message, no apocalyptic secrets, no specific request for prayer, only presence. Theologians have interpreted this silence powerfully. In a Middle East torn apart by war and words of hatred, the Mother of God chose to show herself. Her visible presence to Muslims and Christians was the message. A call to unity, peace, and the reality of the supernatural against spreading materialism. No words were needed to convert. The light was enough. The photos and the videos. Today we live in the 4K era. In 1968, technology was different. And yet, Zaytun is the only Marian apparition in history with abundant photographic documentation. Hundreds of photos exist. Many are grainy, yes. But look carefully. They clearly show a luminous silhouette above the dark dome. They show the doves of light in formation. Professional photographers of the time, such as Wagi Rizk, stated that the light was so intense it would burn the film unless extremely fast exposure times were used. In some photos, the profile of the face is visible. In others, the full figure. Egyptian television networks filmed the event. Archival black and white footage exists showing the crowd in awe and the pulsating light on the church. These are not Hollywood special effects. They are historical documents of an unexplained event. What does Zaytun leave us today? In a skeptical world where scientific proof is demanded in order to believe, Zaytun remains an open challenge. It cannot be dismissed as collective hallucination. Hallucinations are not photographed. It cannot be dismissed as fraud. Con artists do not heal terminal cancers and do not deceive military police for 3 years. It cannot be dismissed as a natural phenomenon. Ball lightning does not pray before a cross and does not bless a crowd. At Zaytun, the veil between heaven and earth was torn, not for an instant, but for years. God allowed hundreds of thousands of people to see with their own eyes that we are not alone, that there is a mother who watches. That light defeats darkness, even literally, as on that night when police cut the power and she shone even brighter. This story teaches us that the divine is not an abstract concept. It is a physical, historical, tangible reality. Earth in such a powerful way, then hope is not an illusion. This story must be known. Too many Christians ignore that the Virgin showed herself to the whole world, not only to a small inner circle. If this story moved you, if it lit something inside your heart, share it. Let the world know what happened on the rooftops of Cairo. Let's close this video with one sentence, a small prayer that summarizes the silent message of Zaytun. A sentence I invite you to repeat in the moments when darkness seems to win in your life. Write it in the comments and make it your own. Mother of light, when the world turns off hope, shine in our darkness. May God bless all of us. We are in Cairo. It is 1968. The cameras of state